In this video, I'm going to explain how to perform ETL process using AWS Glue and S3 bucket. So first of all, let us know about ETL. So if you expand ETL, you can understand it easily. E stands for extract, to T transfer, T stands for transform. Third one is L stands for loading. From these three processes, we are going to get a new data set from the raw data set. So what is extracting? So whenever you are using AWS services or normally whenever you are training ML models and running analytics on your basic raw data set, you are going to apply ETL process. The first step in ETL process is extracting the raw data from your destination and then applying transformations on your data set like pre-processing, transformers, etc. and loading it back into a new destination. So this is what ETL process does. In this experiment, we are going to learn setting up AWS Glue and S3 for ETL process. So, so go to AWS console. In the search bar, search for AWS S3. In the general purpose buckets, you can see the buckets have created. So here I have already created two buckets for my for storing my raw data and as well as processed data. So this one is to store the data. This is the source and this is the destination location. So if you haven't created any bucket, then click on create bucket. Then name your bucket very uniquely. It should not match any other buckets. Even not only from your account, from other accounts also will verify. So we should have only a unique S3 bucket. So let us name it as EXP ETL raw data create bucket. So here you can see the created bucket is available now here. So you have to create two buckets. One is for raw data and one other is for processed data. So after creating bucket, if you want to access these bucket in any other service, you need IAM permissions. That's why you have to create IAM roles for any other service if you are using it in multiple services. So now we are going to create AWS IAM role. So click on AWS IAM. Here you can see a roles option. Click on roles. Here we are going to create a role. Click on create role. So select the trusted entity type as AWS service. And here under the use case, enter glue. And here you can see a glue option. Select the glue option. And you may get it out that why not select S3? Yes, of course you can select S3, but if you want to name anything here, you can name it. But whenever you are giving policies, you are attaching policies to this, you have to assign all the policies so that you can use this IAM role and permit it to the services. So in this experiment, our use case is glue because we can only apply transformations using glue itself. S3 is just a storage part. for dataset. You can directly apply machine learning models on it, but for ETL process, you need AWS. That's why you have to choose use case as glue and click on next. So here you have to attach permission policies. We are using two services here under this IAM role. So we have to enable both the policies. So one of them is Amazon S3 full access. So if you enable this policy, it will give full access to all your S3 buckets under this IAM role. So after enabling this, click on AWS Glue. So here you can see AWS Glue console full access. So you will get full access, full control to your view services under this IAM role. So click on next. You have selected both the IAM roles, not for IAM role. Those are policies. So name your IAM role policy. So let us name it as ETL role. Click on next. Here you can see both the selected policies. Create role. See here you can see role ETL role is created. If you search here, you can see that. If I have already once created when I was using ETL roles, I have already created ETL view role, and now this is what I created ETL role. So after creating IAM roles, you have to create a glue crawl. So what is a glue crawler? This is to extract your data from a source destination and display it under a database table, like a demo database. So in the search for AWS Glue. So here you can see AWS Glue. Under this, you can see an option called crawlers. Select that. So here I have already created ETL crawler. I can use this as well. So if you want to create a crawler, new crawler, then click on create crawler. Here enter the unique name on like glue crawler ETL. Click on next. So here is your data already mapped to it. It is not yet map. It is not yet mapped. So here add a data source. This is where you will enter your raw data destination, raw data path from which your data is extracted. So click on browse, and here you can see all the S3 buckets that you have created. So select the S3 bucket in which your raw data is present. So I'm selecting GHETL raw data. This is where I have my customer details are present in CSV file. So I'm choosing this. So add S3. That's it. It is added. Data source is added, and now click on next. Under the IAM role, you have to select the IAM role that you have created. Just now I have created ETL role. These both roles are for ETL process itself. So now I am selecting the one I have created newly. So I have created. If you haven't if anyone haven't created this IAM role, you can create a new one here and click on next. So here you have to choose a database. I have created database already. If you haven't created, click on create. Here enter the database name. and click on create database, and that's it, a database will be created. This will be created. Then here you can see that the new created database, and you can select the option here. Here under the crawler schedule, if your frequency is set to any other options, then change it to on-demand option. Then create on next. Here you can see all your crawler properties, sources, and everything. All the details will be available here. If you have entered any wrong detail, you can click on edit and edit those details. And if everyone has completed this setup, then click on create crawler. So a new crawler is created, and you can run this crawler. So after running this crawler, you can see the changes here. Under the table section, you can view your data. So we have created this crawler. This is for extracting data, and for transformation, we have to create job. The job is created under AWS Glue as well. So go to AWS Glue, getting started, and here you can see ETL jobs. Under ETL, click on ETL jobs. Here you can see some examples which have pre-built workflows for your job, or else you can create your own. Click on Visual ETL. So this is the source. Source means your from where the input is taken. Your raw data is the source. You have already entered that raw data into a crawler, so that will be present in a data catalog. So click on AWS look at data catalog. This is the source from which your raw data is extracted from. So here you have to choose your database, and here is the table GHETL raw data table is available. After selecting the table, click on ETL role that we have selected, which is an IAM role. It gives full access to our services on like S3 and both the glues. So the data is starting, and the script you can see transformation script. We say this visualizing is not yet completed. We have only added one more. You can add another node, which is the target. So this target is where your data is stored, like process data is stored. So here you can see this. So these both are connected. If you want to apply any pre-built transformations, there will be a lot transformers here. You can apply them, or else you can write your own transformation code here. In this is all Python code here. You can apply pre-processing code as well. So you can write those code here. And after that, you have taken Amazon history as the target. Here you have to give the destination of your process dataset. Click on browse, select this dataset history bucket. This is where your process dataset will be stored. So parents or AWS view catalog. This is this this node parent is this one. So data from this node will be sent to this node. So that's why this is called as parent and child. Here you can see the output schema, and you can click on save. Yeah, the graph titles you have got it. Yeah. You have to name it job title here. So let's take it as ETL job train. ETL job for training ML. For understand purpose, you can use minus symbols as well. That's all. Everything is complete. So your job is updated in the afternoon. This you can click on run. For running this, you can check that your new S3 process S3 bucket will contain the new process data. So this is what ETL process is. So let's go back. Let's see what we have done in this experiment. First of all, we have created S3 bucket. We have created S3 bucket for storing. What are the second one is creating IAM roles. What are these IAM roles for? These IAM roles are for giving permissions to the services you are using. Next one is AWS crawler setup. What is this for? AWS crawler setup is for to extract the data from your source S3 bucket. So now this data will be stored in a data catalog and this will act as your source. And after this, we assign a job role, AWS Blue job role. Here also AWS Blue crawler, Blue job. So this is for applying transformations, loading your data set into destination. So we can say what is the difference between these both data sets? Like the data set stored in the destination and the data set coming from the source S3 bucket. The difference is this data set is unstructured, might be unstructured, and it may have some noise, unwanted data like that. You can apply transformations and like pre-processing while using AWS Glue. It will only send you required data for training your model. So after this, you can do analytics and train models on your data set. Thank you.